stability. Camera plan, skipped the withdrawal Taliban MDA, critique.
I didn't give her the counter plan.
Counterplan.
Hegemony, stability, counter plan, skipped the Taliban DA, and the critique. Yeah.
Sorry.
In my defense, that jump truck went nowhere near me. I only have to go to the water.
Post office.
Is there a password for this computer? I was just wondering.
I'll take 1 second. Great, I'm good.
That's another 10.
Speech Tracy 221 DM.
Yeah. Everybody ready? You good? Great. Public supports not inevitably don't assume backlash against Afghanistan, which Captain says, forced us toward retrenchment to Island 1 and 2. This no impact on hegemony, we don't know, or their arguments of this necessary provide security guarantees for other countries and enable countries to avoid balancing against each other, and instead they operate within the framework of hegemony. Also, they can see there are transition wars, there's Libra and 5 withdraw would surely be hard for Japan, South Korea, Taiwan would strong if nuclear weapons, regional competition, has given many reasonable wars about weapons of mass destruction of vast scale, evil, philosophical American empire, is unappealing, that is the alternative, much more attractive alternative, may be one of the competing great powers with no hegemony, all that make this supremacy inevitable, but there is arguments about counterbalancing, which no, we don't make a claim about, we just say the public can restrain or exertion of primacy, which you keep the security guarantees in coalition, that's what their evidence. Benedict, I lost her again. Hegemony doesn't solve the best solve for these arguments of their evidence, says that we provide security guarantees that solve for their arguments of the stability advantage. So the stability advantage, the internal factors of Pakistan, or evidence indicates that the only reason why Pakistan will collapse in the long term is that we're separatist backlash from Afghanistan. We push them across the border, which only why the reason why they would get into the government in the first place. They say the army checks this argument, but they're no. We were evidencing recent political legitimacy and the failure of CMR is the reason why nuclear weapons are uniquely pulled up right now. They say empirical negative, but they don't account for Russia's treaty guarantees in areas like Tajikistan, which forces them to necessarily intervene. That's blank evidence, blank evidence. It's also the reason why Afghan stability would draw other nations in, whether spillover or now they say regional cooperation solves obviously would not if the reason why countries come into the region anyways to gain more power, which is what evidence in this case they say no escalation, but Russia will get involved too. These conflicts would force escalation because they have to defend their interests. They say we're winning the war, but we're losing it. They support legitimacy. We only have corrupt cars as a part of public legitimacy is key. Only decentralization solves from our key evidence. Also, Afghan security, government corruption, and balance is Cohen and to it self will money for Afghanistan. Only with the latest cars itself was one tip of the exhibition is showing very little progress. 200 was the worst family year. The war security conditions in the country worse than only for profit security, security, the improvement Afghan security forces, country best in report deficit, for planning management, there's no money, ambitious training Afghan security force. They say the Afghan public like this argument is false or when it's Cohen evidence injects that and says that that's just military propaganda. Also, it's irrelevant because there's no argument as to why that's necessarily key. And coin destabilizes Pakistan alone. It forces people to go in the go there. There's Washington net. The chief effective valid operation is to defeat the Islamists, especially because Pakistani border stabilize Afghanistan, or usually destabilize Pakistan with potential devastating collision. No country but this great, but until to use national security, then there's Pakistan. All this means the proper use priority for Afghanistan should be not try to hard but change. Of course, then the warlords can accomplish good objectives more effectively, more cheaper than Western combat battalion. The strategy becomes decentralization of the counterplay politics is not net benefit. That was considered the one to see, but permutation do both, and permutation of the plan any combination of the planks that will only go for this it's just fine because the multiple planks also talks low relations are in Evelyn Sharma in 2016. What makes any Pakistan like phosphorus and air highly compatible when they come into conflict against laws and acrimonious history? The reason why any Pakistan have continued to remain in different orbits is because some communities because the fundamental difference in approach to the decided by lateral Pakistan pursues a government strategy that favors taking Kashmir and Indian practices that are more but protecting the conditions issues. The battle between Indian Pakistan and the dialogue to the death and large presence is the only thing that allows for Indo-Pak proxy war in the first place in its intent. The clashing of interesting ways on by Washington and Israel present US policy, the civil not require the presence of US troops and activities for troops near self-rapidly near Pakistan, nor increase the country's depth of the region's proximate battleground Washington's interest in regional policymakers with limited weapon purchasing size in Southeast Chief regional dispute, white source distributions of the U.S. and India Republic, including the dismemberment of Pakistan, encouraged Pakistan crime margin to Afghanistan long-term stability in region will only come about after the U.S. skilled and Afghan policy to a much narrower country's mission. Pakistan commits the security ally in continuing itself to defeating the support Islamist proxies also been solved. The act because it doesn't remove troops between the public backlash still happens against hegemony. No, by the arguments about after we're moving after we win the war. Cohen evidence says that those types of conditions withdrawal necessarily fails and separatist movements still cause backlash, collapses, stability. Also, retention is an alternative link or Brooks and Wolf evidence that we can always have more latent power and recruit more people, which is a question of our public support in the long-term prospect of war turns. There are solvency for hegemony that's barred and denied. U.S. led forces must show progress by public decision. The conflict gone and will use force must begin to turn the situation around precisely. Not public support after Iraq. Nobody's prepared to have alongside the troops try to break people, try to get spoken about the political war, America go for the location to continue the war. The new approach would move on a conflict that deadlock, not conditionalized, bad argument, responsibility encourages discourages to strategic thinking. I mean, we would never be able to make arguments because they go kick out of it. That's several times to argument. Also, disproportionality solves the often saying they still have the ANF, which necessarily fails its Fisher in and bolstering the Afghan military care. Given no legitimate cause the government is perceived to be a cause that letter me and worse than anti-government sentiment that could restrain the indigenous backlash until again. Any arguments about how they reform the government because it's not part of the accountability text now. The politics did. Massive fight over the budget as VOA 217 while there's 36 flash. Spending a fierce battle of expenditures begins where Republicans want to try to drastically clash with the government, spend the price and cover. Spending freeze not go far enough for Republicans are sending price for high feeling include inside reform budget battles, preempting focus on skip to this inside US trade tweets and box and hatchment. Kirk by the time people agreements to read through is likely the White House will just with the FTA without issuing with all they could have happened and negotiates forward with FTA and TAs between the White House and Republican budget battle. The consideration of Korean FTA Republican investigative Korea, Korean FTA bring the White House and all get the Democrats to launch a policy plan and pass it which means not an opportunity costs bad for education and predictability. Also box will block forward G17 Korean officials they failed to make a change. The brief agencies that they will vote against the agreement unless USB gets more access to the issue could delay the time for passage of the agreement and skip to South Korea won't ratify feed stuff in June 9 the U.S. South Korean trade agreement faces Trump ratification and Seoul Korea's ruling Korean National Party is not happy to be significant made in U.S. support in the market across the automatic and winners win singer 9 something the pro-cap is funded to give use of pro-cap and generate returns that give expensive rate capital and measure the different dynamic things to build more capital is being rewarded by the one with the mass pass is being rewarded by public as a result of withdrawal plus bipartisanship GOP is spending troop deaths innocent 3/10 on the red new reservation by the continuing military public against the good property by religion or shooting the good property regime Washington doesn't trust concern begun the ruling eventually beginning country consider sensible to extension for the drugging of the West not Hungary the will after issue conservative the right nation building is a utopian venue but there's a growing backwards consensus bringing the war to close this market close and CT provides Obama covered LA Times and what casualties led them poll support for 8 year wars waning even Republicans with the president's not supporting the conflict so what is more than the police to a more limited approach than provide Obama political cover the kid to their religions and critical Cheney bashing and we inherited this mess now to make the bad of our best for the bad situation lines and trade doesn't solve anything that's barbarian to the passing of dependence we see only lowest level of tribes the symmetric tribes reflect the states were equally lacking in their independence situation extensive trade dependence isolation makes all their arguments inevitable that's our fair arguments of the Taliban no risk of Taliban we destroy their cohesion wall 1229 After the Pakistan insurance groups according to the activities more extensively in the U.S. Increased military presence governments put aside the differences deal with the market exchange which had warned us the various schools in order of invasion just to China trade outside the other rather than U.S. fighting in China when safe facilities two divisions within Afghanistan rumors to make the place nearly government but we're going to also face withdrawal solved because we would remove all of our ships at once also CT saw that are fair and long and said we cooperate with regional warlords to prevent the order from happening also the NATO withdrawal deadline means the Taliban would have already perceived that would on the politics the end of the gender critique one framework the affirms you can imagine world of fear which the plan happens as best we must weigh representation we must weigh consequences row and the theories we find the powerful companies can leave from out of that and to make anything perhaps more recognition more pulse relevant than right wrong this theory one working pulse I percent about pulse relevant policy then such public sales sense how can make pulse shift to presenters and unpredictability also permutation do both solve best Peterson and the famous critiques of states should be aware of the fact that the state creates canvases and focuses political makes the best friend of the end because the political power is essential parking district patriarchy and class of potential for disrupting the oppression of those in the lower class section racial hierarchies those warlords shun this argument because we recognize the masculine form of the U.S. identity is necessary to stabilize and rather than the warlords are the warlords are a better form of stability they're also rejecting realism sales and fails of permeate decision making policy Guzini in 98 It is impossible to heap the arrest of realism that just been started new. The real assumptions are alive, no man's practitioner permeates our daily language beginning is questionably critical does not mean that they should lose quest and understand the language of those who make decisions. This is a prerequisite for choosing your responsible claim to the name of realism if that fails it can't explain IR or provide alternate theories that's capital in 4. No position exists college can simply add gender is one of the very variables when we're discussing international issues with human rights and war genders on the core of the key to understanding such position would gross understand the feminist case as long as the IR understand gender imperial category feminists are imperial largely relevant to the disciplines primary question they must necessarily use a purely feminist centered analysis critiquing questions of construction of gender is important but it fails to provide new theories of or just implications of what happens in the war. Also their hegemony events they make a credibility term but a fair evidence or long evidence with the perspectives that we maintain CT which means we can still reassure our allies with the permanent presence and phase withdrawal argument with self-respect.
I just want to clarify. of which no pass argument you made?
We
Not
read,
the ones about the budget blocking it, but just specifically about like bicycles.
what warrants, you mean?
No, which
We
cards
read
was
a
it? I
quarters
didn't
card
remember.
that Bacchus will block it.
Okay.
We read a feed stuffs card that South Korea won't ratify it. And then we read the 2 cards at the top.
Okay, yeah, I caught the first 2 ones.
Okay.
I thought there were like 3 no pass cards, and I wanted to make sure which 2, because I didn't catch
Fair enough.
the authors of
I
them.
think there were 4 total.
Yeah. All right. So on hegemony, why would public not liking the war in Afghanistan mean that we would leave?
It's not, the argument isn't that we would leave Afghanistan. The argument is that we would not be able to intervene in other conflicts. I mean, I
Right.
can
So
provide, I
wait.
can provide an example.
You're telling me that because we don't like the war in Afghanistan, we suddenly stop intervening in places like Asia? Why would that make any sense?
It does make sense. When the public becomes disenchanted with our ability to intervene overseas because of a long war, they're less likely to approve other,
Wait, do you really think the
policies.
public is
Yeah, I can
so
provide-
dumb
I
and
can-
shallow to think that our
not the
presence in
public's dumb and
Afghanistan
shallow,
is
it's
exactly
that
the
they
same as
see-
our presence in
it's-
South Korea?
No, look, the argument isn't about South Korea or anything in that matter. Our evidence indicates that the public, it's not that they're dumb, they get, discontent with the war because they see people dying every day.
Okay,
They
I
see
get that they
the
get
economy
discontent with
being spent.
Afghanistan.
Look, I can
Why
provide
does
an
that-
example for this argument. Like in Somalia, after Black Hawk Down happened, we didn't send troops to resolve the Rwandan genocide because our public backlashed and said, no, we should be isolationist and not intervene in foreign conflicts so that we don't have more of our troops down.
And this is going to happen again,
Yes, on a grand scale.
right, on a grand scale. Does it give any scenario about as to where this would happen?
Not uniquely. Our Kupchan Troopman's evidence cites that our ability to intervene in other areas of the world.
Well, I mean, how can you get access to your Thayer evidence if it doesn't give any specific places? And the Thayer evidence is just about U.S. power in general. Speaking of which, your Thayer evidence is about when the U.S. remains a credible hegemon.
Sure.
You
Well, I don't
read
think that's
the evidence that
necessarily
says
true.
that
It speaks to-
hegemony is involved. No, it says that when the U.S. has strong NPT credibility, it means other countries don't want to proliferate. When the U.S. is a strong
Obviously, a
hegemon, other...
prerequisite to that argument will be an ability to exert our primacy strategy, right?
I mean, would other countries know that we don't have an
Obviously,
ability to
we
exert
did
our
things
primacy?
like-
Wouldn't
if
they
we did
think that we're
things
just
like left
choosing
the
to not go places?
If we did things like left the WTO, right?
So wait, you're arguing that because of resentment in Afghanistan, we're going to leave the WTO?
Isolationism and retrenchment, that's what
Right, where does your evidence say that it's going to cause us to leave the WTO?
Actually, our 1AC evidence, I don't think it says specifically the WTO, but I can find our 1AC, which is not open,
Okay.
and read you a line from this.
Alright, that's fine.
76% of the public said that they oppose globalization.
Alright, other
Saying
internal
that
links to
they-
Pakistan instability, like, recent floods, the fact that a lot of them are in poverty.
Right,
Why is
that's-
insurgency
that's
the only
uniqueness.
internal link into
That's-
the state collapsing?
That's uniqueness for us, that's the reason why nuclear weapons and their form of governance is unstable now.
No, but that's
The
not
reason why
uniqueness that you
insurgency can take
overcome.
effect.
We'll take breath.
Because floods don't steal nuclear weapons.